So we're ready to actually start. Glad I got it out last night. Yeah, I'm feeling rather bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at this point. And what do? Well, I moved the deck of cards out of here because there's no place for flipping them, and I flip a card. All right, it's a red card, which means Russia can play spies if they want. But otherwise, China's in a civil war. It's got a couple of them. So we roll a die. It's a 6. Add the China army in China. Well, that's a nice thing to have right off on the first turn. I did not have that in my other game. Okay, so that's going to improve the chances of China getting out of the civil war on their own. And since we added the... we got one of the events that caused a remove, it's here. On a 1 through 3, it's no effect, but if turn 2 or later, it's a remove. That doesn't really fit the way the game explains things, but it's pretty damn clear that it's intended to last a couple of turns if need be. Okay, does Russia want to fire off any spies? So the answer is yes. Because they've got these tech theft markers that they can grab. Right now I have 2 spies. I have one over in Russia, which could get rid of an unrest, and that might not be a terrible idea. It might not be a great idea. But I got this one, and I want to grab the tech theft, because otherwise the US could get rid of it before I get it. So, I look under spy actions, and that'll be here. And I'm going to steal technology. I get 2 dice because I'm in the country. It says 2d6 on here. It's not. It's 1 or 2d6, depending. There's no unrest, which is a pity, and I need 6s. I get 1. My spy is turned over. The tech theft goes away. And I'll be getting 2 successes in 1 category. Now, I could play 1 success over here in farming, get myself the victory. But there's a tech development chart in the game. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a chit here in computer research. And I'll put one on missile launch. I don't know. See, I've got the lead on this. The few things that I have the lead on... Oh, I can't steal that. That's what that means. The other one... I'll put going towards the A-bomb. This one is a success. So I get a disc for it. Am I forgetting something? This is the problem. I've made computing research. Now, one of the reasons that this kind of sucks is if I get industry as a tech, my next industry has to get 2 levels. Because I can't use code breaking. That's a shame. But getting industry up is important. So I want to do that. This one doesn't hurt me. What did this do for me? I just gained a tech. I have to look at the rules, make sure that there's nothing I'm missing. Because I found when I was playing last time that things slipped my mind. Replace them with a disk and then claim all the benefits that technology grants. Well, that technology doesn't grant me shit. Okay. The card is gone. I'm not going to do the unrest. And now I just go to another card. Okay. Civil War. This is the first of the Civil War cards. We roll a die. Not that one because it slipped out of my hand. 6. Soviet may add 1 Civil War marker to any Civil War. Now I'm going to put this way, because although I have this, I'm used to seeing it like that. And where's their a civil war that's kind of in my favor. Indonesia, sort of. Certainly Vietnam, sort of. Greece, sort of. I'm going to count on Vietnam holding itself. I don't know. See, these are kind of potent. Yeah, let's boost the Greek one. This is not anybody's color, so nobody gets to do anything spyish with it. So we draw another one. Proxy war. Stalin's still alive. We get a -1. We don't have to read through everything. We just roll a die. We get a 2. Military intervention is not authorized. This would have given me an option, perhaps, to do some kind of military action. It's a remove card, so it's out of the game. It had no effect. It's one of those events that didn't happen, that could have. We draw another one. U.S. money. Okay. So this is where things kind of meet the main part of the rules. The U.S. has to make some choices. What do I want to do with some bucks? And I have a lot of choices. I think what I want to do is I want to fix things. There's a lot of broken stuff in Europe. So I am going to take 2, but not an embargo. But the embargoes with the trade tax. There was not a, when I got my copy, there was not a lot of sense to how everything was packed. Some of it was, but the cards, I think, I don't know, some of the stuff was just sort of jumbled together. I am going to drop investments, and I make the decision before I do any die rolls or anything. I'm going to drop investments into Italy and Germany. Technically, let's do them one at a time. They actually should be done both at once, and then we roll. Okay, so that German investment, now I take my investment actions. I could trade them off for an unrest, but the only unrest is the occupation. So I can roll 1 die on 2 dice on trader destruction, on removing the destruction marker. The trade markers are later, and I get +1 for each investment. Well, I have 1 investment there now. I get a 6. My investment goes away along with this thing. Now, this thing, I filled this up, so now I don't have a great place for it. I'll put it over here for now. The world's just changed, though. I've changed something on the board, and that's where the progress marker goes. Since I have, this is my government type, and I have control over it, and now there's a factory there. It moves 2 forward. That generates a star, slips me back to 0. And for Italy, we were going to do the same thing. And again, we're +1 for the single investment. There's no modifier on these repair markers, so they're just peachy. And we succeed in Italy as well. And it's the same situation. It's industrialized enough. We get 2 progress. And now we're in the lead. Yay! That's how a money card works. You pick one of these choices off the menu, and you resolve all the stuff that it entails. It's not always clear what you want to do, but at this point, clearing those seems like a really good value. It generates some victory points. What else does it do? I don't know. These are 2 worth countries now, and they were 0 worth. They're a lot harder to take away from me. lots of cards to get through, so let's just keep going. Soviet money. Same kind of decision making here. What are the Soviets' biggest problems? Well, they got armies on their civil wars. That helps. What else? I got damage in certain places. This civil war means maybe I don't want to fix that damage. Things could go terribly wrong. But we got damage in other places. So I'm going to grab the 2 investment markers. I'm going to end up throwing one in Russia and one in Germany. Now here, all it says is any success, not each success or anything like that. So let's go do the East German one first. And we're at +1 there. We get a success. That gets us a point, which gets us our hammer and sickle. And then for the Russian one, because we have +1, that's a success. That gets us another point. Nothing too exciting, but I could trigger spies again. I don't really feel... You know, I just don't know what I want to do with that spy. Getting rid of the unrest seems like a good idea, but I have a lot of deck to go through. All right, another random card that something happens on. 6. In Israel, remove the occupied marker and add a civil war. There is no occupied marker. Was there supposed to be? Because it makes it sound like there was. Did I miss something in my setup? Maybe, maybe not. I don't see Israel on here. Libya, Egypt, Nigeria. But like Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, those aren't occupied. Technically, they probably should be. Yeah, strangely, I don't see Israel on the setup for scenario 1. Countries that had nothing are listed as such. Syria is on there. Maybe there was supposed to be an occupation marker. I don't know. There's not anymore, if there ever was. And it's in civil war now. This civil war is indicating the Palestinian opposition. If you get the worst result, you'll also end up at war with, you know, like Jordan, Syria, as indicated. That was a blue card. Do the Blues, I haven't been thinking about this much, but do they want to fire their... They only have one spy. I'm going to hold off because he used his spy. Otherwise, I would either have played on the tech theft or gotten rid of him. A red card, Berlin blockade. The USSR doesn't have to roll the die on this. So, violence in Berlin. Place it on unrest in the USSR, and then apply 3. U.S. rolls back German reforms. U.S. must remove an influence in West Germany and take a money owed counter and then treat it as a 4. This is the good result for me. U.S.-UK successful airlift, add another unrest in the USSR, remove any unrest, and add 1 U.S. investment in West Germany. It does not seem like a good card to play. Now, it says remove no matter what. Okay. I just do not think that's a useful card. I would still be able to fire off my spies. Pull another one. Tito! Stalin is not dead, so we need a 5 or more. for the first result. We get a 3, which means we go down to the otherwise. Soviets expel Tito, set Yugoslavia to authoritarian rule, where it naturally wants to be, and add 1 unrest in the USSR. All right. That stuff's starting to collect up. I don't like it. Since I had a red card there, I'm going to try to remove unrest with my spy. I don't have to do it yet, but it's 2 dice. I need a 5 or more. I don't get one. My spy is spent anyhow. I'm uncomfortable when I'm at 2 because maybe something bad will happen if I'm not careful. Paper clip and something I can't pronounce. This is going to be space technology from the Soviets. 3, U.S. Place 1 cube in gray or black, satellite or space technology. Satellite or space. Can't get to space without satellite first, so I place a cube in missile research. That gets me a disk. Up there, which generates a tech theft going here. That's 2 of them in there, so they come back here. Yeah, we don't have to do it that way. I don't think there's a chart for that here. Some charts are in the player aids, some are not. So we look here and we turn to the right page and we roll 1 die. 4, Canada, UK, or Germany. Okay. Well, my spy is not going to be able to help me in Germany. I'll put, we already have one in the UK. Putting a second one here is allowable. That centralizes things. And if I'm going to put a spy somewhere, he might be able to knock them both off. So I'm going to put that in the UK. You can make arguments either way on that. This card goes away. Lots of walking around. There's so much board in this game. It feels so weird. It just does not feel like a big game. You know, you look at the board and you're like, wow, why is it so big? Well, because a lot of stuff collects up on it. Money card. Okay. Problem with money cards is, unlike most of the game, you really kind of have to think what the hell you're going to do. This is really where you make your decisions, is when these money cards come up. There are some other cards where you have a little bit of a choice, but they're usually pretty opportunistic. Here, not so much so. So, what do I want to do? Is there stuff to repair still? There's Japan. So I'm going to want to grab an interest for Japan to convert that factory, because that's cheap to fix. What else do I want to do? So I can place a spy and make an influence or place an investment. I'm going to place my spy in the UK. And I'm going to place my investment over here in Japan. I can't use my spy yet because I've started the card. So I do the investment, wherever the hell that is, in Japan. This is the same as before, 2 dice, looking for a 6 or more. We got it because of the +1. That gets us 2 victory points again. I think that's what we've been getting each time. But now I can trigger my spy, and I will do that. Notice UK, if I had placed in Canada, it would have had this spy there. So I trigger my spy, and I'm going to try to destroy tech or something like that. Secure secret. 2 dice. Each success creates removes a tech theft. I could conceivably get both. I get rid of one of them. All right, gonna pause for a little bit. Ready for another card. You know what's kind of funny? You have something like this. Looks like it's meant to be a notes page. You know, to keep your own tracking on it. I don't. It's a wasted page otherwise. There could be something valuable, important charts, whatever. Similarly, some of this space, but whatever. You know, that's a little different. But leaving the back page of the thing blank, first of all, feels like a mistake to me. But also, it feels like a notes page where you're able to write your notes, maybe for playtesting, whatever you've got. But it's on this damn glossy paper where, you know, unless you're using a magic marker, it's not going to write. All right, Stalin. Three. Okay, remove 1 or 2 war reparation markers. For each removed marker, you put an unrest there and get a money card added to the deck. Then you get an unrest in the USSR for his purges and terror, and roll for his death. You get different choices. It's possible you just roll for his death, but if we take the war reparations, if we get the result that gets the war reparations, we get an unrest in the USSR. Okay. I am going to do this. I get, let's see, this is going to be, so where are my reparations? If I play, well, that's not a reparation. I have a bunch in East Germany. Those are probably, so this is tricky. First of all, Lithuania. Let's take a look at this. I can remove that. For each remove, place it on unrest. Well, unrest can't be placed there, but it doesn't seem to be a condition. Oh no, Lithuania doesn't have one. Sorry. Where's the place? Austria. Okay. I definitely want to take Austria because it's, you know, not my problem. I'm going to take the other one in East Germany because there's a bunch of them there and it's hard to resolve all of these and get them all out of the way. That gets me 2 of these, which are these cards. They're going to get reshuffled into the deck immediately. Okay. These go away, and I'll have to figure out a place to do them. I get an unrest in Russia, which I can't do anything about right now. If I had the spy there, I could trigger him right away, but, well. And now I roll for Stalin's death. Stalin's death is here. On a 1 through... On turn 1, he needs a 4 or higher. He does not die. We get the no leader roll this turn marker on there, I guess. It doesn't tell you to put that there, but I can't think of what else it's for. And we'll put that up here. I guess next turn, you know, it just happens at the end of the turn, so it's not really a big deal. He's still alive, so this gets cycled back into the deck. And then these get shuffled into there. And do I have a spy somewhere? I fired my spies off, so no. Fucked up, I'm playing like I used to play. As I'm shuffling these decks, I looked over. Hey, I took here, 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 and here. That's investments where I could have taken 3 investments because those were all 0 places. So that's 2 extra Western investments. We'll look at what that's going to do, if anything. And then for the Soviets, I did something similar, right? I invested, I don't remember where. I did the East Germany in conjunction with something else. So let me put those Allied investments down. I don't know where I'm going to put them. They're not going to go in the same places that they were in. And I can't really tinker with the game too much. Let's put one in Turkey. That seems like a good place to have one. Put one in Canada. This is just a matter of, I only took 2 with them. Now, what if I had done, with the Russians, what did I do with my other card, with my other piece? I don't fucking remember. That's sort of the problem. I played an investment. Oh, I played an investment here. Yeah, so I get an extra Soviet investment too. Because, oh, but this is a capital. But I'm going to give it to him anyway because I feel like I'm cheating in favor of the Allies. Otherwise. So why don't we put that one here in Hungary and roll the dice for it. It's just 2 dice at +1. We got a success. We cleaned up the Hungary issue, and that actually would have gotten us another victory point. That's all that matters. These aren't like production that you're going to be able to turn around and turn into money or whatever. Your money is these cards, and that's why the reparations are a big deal. Because they add a couple of actions to the deck. Forgetting things that I forgot last time I played. I look over at the U.S. president, I'm like, well, do I want to do anything here? Well, containment, you know, I've been doing fine. I haven't rolled an influence roll, so that's fine. No effect there. Trade, there's no trade there, so no effect there. The trade one, though, is kind of bothersome. It's like, wow, I'm not actually allowed to use that. I mean, I'm just not allowed to, which makes it kind of, let's make Truman really crappy. I don't know. Let's flip another one. McCarthy. All right. We get a 6. McCarthy runs amok. Make a free counterintelligence roll in the U.S. and then add 2 U.S. homeland unrest. Throw the unrest down just so I don't forget. But I get a counterintelligence without having to expend a spy. We go and find the spy rules for counterintelligence, which is here somewhere. 2 dice. Now this is the weird thing. Is it a 2-die one? Is it a 1-die one? I don't know. It doesn't tell you here. I'm using 2 dice because that's what's on the sheet, but that's not really what it is. There's only 1 spy. That did not work. The card is removed, but now the U.S. is having problems because of McCarthyism. Before we dive back into the next card, you know, I'm known for complaining about games, complaining about my life, whatever. But every now and then, quite often, things happen that I find good, you know, at least at some minor level, at about the same level as most of my complaints. Not the big ones, but, you know, like, oh shit, I dropped my pipe, right? Well, I used a little bit different French there, but the lighting in this room used to be a problem. And I didn't know why. Some of the lights were just, you know, burning at like this kind of pale orange. Sometimes they wouldn't go on or not. The past few days, they're coming on immediately and they're really, really bright. I haven't done anything. Nothing's changed that I'm aware of. The only thing I did was I actually turned on the power breaker for the heater there, but this was predating that, so I don't know. But anyway, good things do happen in my life. I just don't tend to mention them because you assume the good, right? You know, you assume things just work and everything. So that's the baseline, and it's when things aren't reaching the baseline. But maybe I need to reflect differently and say things like, well, you know, At least there's a lot of words in this rule book. You know, look on the bright side of things. And it's got a lot of weight. All right, ingest. War reparations. Okay, so remember, Stalin generated some war reparations, but we still have some left. The problem is this just came, and I haven't gotten a chance to fix my other ones. I can remove anywhere, but, well, first of all, maybe I don't get them. I get them. Okay, so I can remove anywhere up to 2 of them. The other one, I had to remove at least 1. They're going to cause unrest, and they get me additional money markers here. Gee, that would have been... okay, so I definitely want to grab the Hungarian one. So I'll do that. Do I have another one that I want to grab? If I grab from East Germany, that's going to trigger a coup. I don't think that's wise. There's nowhere else I can take them from. I don't get them from Japan or anything like that. So it's one more reparations card will be going and shuffled into the deck. Every card over on camera, and I may keep doing that. That's going to make for a hell of a long video series. Simply because there's, in a game like this where you're drawing and there's a quick action, drawing and there's a quick action, it's often hard to catch the whole narrative. I have to do the same with Twilight Struggle for that matter too. Alright, Civil War. This is the second Civil War. So we do not handle this part. We go down here and we resolve them. Okie dokie. Let's find the rules on Civil War. The Soviet get to select first, I guess, under either thing, so they get to decide the order of the Civil Wars. Cooking myself some split pea soup now. I made a ham for Thanksgiving, and let's flip around because we don't know what, they don't give the number that you should be looking for to find this. There it is. It would be helpful, Numbers, lots of them. References into them from everywhere where you need them. Gotten used to that, but not everybody can do that. Okay. The government is determined. So we pick a civil war. It kind of doesn't matter which one. So I'm going to just kind of go left to right. We'll go up there in Estonia first. The government rolls 2 dice, adding 1 extra die per army present. That gives me a 3rd die. And now I have +1 for each army, investment, or spy, unless I read a different set of rules where spies only count a maximum of 1. Probably not going to have 2 spies in one area. So 3 dice at +1. Wow. So I got 2 hits over there. And now for the other side, the rebel gets 2 dice. I would get additional dice if I had investments or spies from the U.S. side, or 3 civil wars. I don't. So we roll that. That's going to be nothing. Okay, 2 hits. That's going to win the Civil War. Oops. Well, let's get the effect of winning a civil war. Government wins. Align the country if not already. It has a cube in it. And set to 1 unrest. Well, that kind of blows, but it's better than a civil war. Place an occupied marker if 1 or more armies are present. Well, that's the case. And now we're at 2 unrest. The army goes back to the force pool. And the thing that I don't notice is the winner rewards, which really should be under the, well, maybe not. So I get a progress for winning the war, even though the country itself's not worth anything. And an additional progress if my own army was present, which it is, which gets me my 3rd one of these and puts the Soviets back in the lead. I'll come back after the other civil wars and report on them. You can see the mechanism, and this is actually a point where I can do a few things and tell you all about them when I come back. Other wars, at least in the European region, haven't been going very well. The Ukraine, the war grew. Some unrest here. Greece, wow. And that wipes out the influence. The influence always goes away during a civil war because it's adding to its bonus. Israel, though, The forces of democracy won out there or whatever, and they would win anyway. It's just what kind of democracy. It might be like a Palestinian democracy or something. Well, I don't know. Remove the government? Nope, nope, nope. Okay. But there were no troops there or anything, so there's only one unrest there. But here's the thing. That means even though there was nothing there by the U.S. player, I won the Civil War. I get that. But I also have an aligned country with a cube now, so I get the worth of that country, and that gives me up to a tie. And you can kind of see, wow, that's kind of weird. Why am I getting so many points when I did nothing to invest? Well, you know, I got the danger of losing this one, so live with it. I was hoping to be able to report back, and I'm taking less time. The roll's on China. It's a government victory, but the Chinese army is there. As far as I can tell, it's now an occupied army. I don't know where the hell this goes. It can't go in the Russian force pool. I'm going to just put it somewhere and try to figure out whether it can show up again. But it's gone. Oh, we have an unrest as well because there was an army. The unrest gets placed first. But we do get the rewards, which means the Soviets get another point because the Chinese won that war somehow or another. I mean, they were well in advance. I got two more. And again, these are kind of weird, like France. What happens if the French army is removed? Can it come back for Angola? I assume so, but I don't know. A little better, but not perfectly. Indonesia and Vietnam both cooling down a little bit. And yeah, as soon as we got out of Europe. Civil War card wasn't aligned, so nobody's got any spying they can do, and it's a USA money, and what the hell do I want to do? The Russians, if they get any money, have to deal with this problem. The US is getting close to that. I can't suppress unrest with my spies. That's a Soviet-only capability, which kind of sucks. Which means the only way I can get rid of unrest normally is by pushing... How did I get all that unrest in there? Is by pushing influence into there. Now, I'm allowed to put influences not in my home country, and that goes for the Russians, but I cheated for them because they might have done other things. Zeros and ones, but if I put something in there to try to quell that unrest, oh, I know why. McCarthy, yeah. Greece. What happens if Greece fails? Red influence in there, but it stays democratic. That doesn't sound too terrible. On the other hand, if I buy 3 influence with this, I can clear 1. Yeah, I don't care about that, though. See, I can clear 2 of these unrests. That seems like a great idea. But then that third influence, what's it going to do? Well, but let us get rid of this. And where else is there an influence that I wanted? One that I wanted to get rid of. I swear there were 2 that I wanted to get rid of. Oh, Israel. That's 2. That gives me 1 more cheap, sorry, not influence, investment that I can apply. Cheap investment I can apply. I mean, I could start banking towards Italy. I'm not going to be able to convert Italy with that -4 on it, that's for sure. Put into Turkey and start gaining there. So I'm going to do an influence. I can't do an influence. Right? Whenever an interest is placed, I don't get the influence check. What's my chance there? +1 per investment, placing into your own colors +1. I'd have +2. Looking for a 6 on 1 die. That's not too bad. Let's not go there. Yeah, I don't really know where to go. We'll go into Mexico, because we definitely don't want Russians in there. And it's not trivial for them to get there. Spies like us. I think I only have the one. Let's flip another card. Popular unrest. 3. Both sides may remove one unrest in an authoritarian country, then the U.S. player may remove one in any democracy. Soviets have to pick first. Is there an authoritarian country that the Russians would like to get rid of an unrest in? I mean, maybe. I'm close to Iran, but that's aligned democratic. I don't think I really want to do that. I think I'll pass. The U.S. almost certainly wants to. Iran's not authoritarian. Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure the U.S. wants to either. Just, I guess we'll get rid of this one. Unrest doesn't seem like a good thing in the world. Okay, and now I can remove one from a democratic country. And this is where it's tricky. Do I want to get rid of a U.S. one that's particularly hard for me to dispose of? I think that's what we're going to do. Okay. And flip another one. Spy agencies. Soviet. Prefer one Soviet spy action with any spy and do not mark it used, or place an investment in a country with a Soviet spy. And then the U.S. get a chance for one. Where's my spy? I got one there, but I got another one kicking around somewhere that I'm having trouble seeing. I know I must. Did he die? Did I kill my spy? He's back in Russia. Is an investment worth it, or is there something I would rather do? Spy actions. Oh, I could use, yeah. Secure secret. Trade. Place unrest. I could unrest in the U.S., I guess. Counterintelligence. Not very well. I think I prefer the idea of dropping an influence. Oh, an influence or an interest? An investment, yeah. Thinking Pax Britannica here. Yeah, let's put one here, and we'll use it immediately to kill that. That helps a little bit. And then for the U.S., U.S. got a 5. That's successful. I can put a U.S. spy in any democratic nation with a worth of 2 or more. Yeah, bother. There are a few. Which one am I most worried about? Basically, I have, assuming I ignore other things, I have basically the interesting ones as far as I see are West Germany and Japan. I've got a spy nearby in West Germany. I've got one in the U.S. in England, so I'll play the U.S. one over in Japan. Draw another one. More U.S. money. Whew. That's in good shape. So let me think. What am I trying to do? Did I increase any worth? I feel like something happened. I got worth in Israel. Did I think I took a point for that. I think I took a point for winning the war and a point for getting the cube there. But I'm not positive. And this is the problem with tracking stuff on all these tracks, is I actually have a lot of difficulty doing that. I have the feeling that I want to do influence rolls, because there are places where I'm collecting up investments that would be kind of useful. Influence is a single die, +1 per investment, +1 for going into your own color government with a adjacent country that's fully aligned with your influence. I don't have that. Or if adjacent. No, placing into your color government. That's what I do. So I have +2s going into Mexico and Canada because they're the same color. I also have a +2 in Turkey. Which one would I rather go for? Let's go for Turkey first. I think I have to select them all to begin with, so let me... I'm not positive about that. I don't know, it doesn't look like it. Oh, well. You do with the interests, but I'm not sure what with going for right. Investments, not interests. Okay, so +2 on Turkey. 7. That gets me a cube in Turkey. It clears my investments, but I get a victory point. And that gives me control of the strait there. Yeah, I really ought to have that one too. Huh? But I was going to do another one. Let's do, it looks like Canada is more interesting than anything else. So let's do Canada also at +2. And we get, oh, I already have a cube in Canada. Why do I have an investment there? I don't know. Probably fucked up. Yeah, I would have done Mexico instead because I'm looking to get cubes. So that gives me another victory point there. And that's the US money. I have a spy somewhere that I just got that I could fire off. Can't do... I can counterintelligence the Russian spy. Is that the best thing I can do? Well, we don't know because we might be putting a tech down. There's a lot of deck left, so I'm going to hold off. And we're going to take a break because the battery's almost dead, and I need a break. Cards of Soviet money. Well, we definitely have some work cut out for us. Now, I could buy more spies in the USSR. That's not a reasonable thing. So I'm going to buy one investment, but what else? That's my minimum. I'm also worried about some of these other nations where I have an investment, but we're close to a problematic situation. I don't know which, as soon as I buy this off, I can do the other things, and I think the other things are more important. So I'll buy a second investment, and one of them we're just going to get rid of that. If I end up with more, I have to buy more. The other investment is going to go, what is my most valuable place? Well, it's not there. In some ways, losing East Germany isn't as bad because I've got the reparations chits that I need to withdraw from there. So I think I'll put this one into Bulgaria and clear the resistance there. Do I have spies? I have to kind of reassess the board each time I come back. I also need to relight my pipe. I'll just put it down, which is what I usually do. Soviet famine. It's a 3. Place 2 unrest in USSR or in Ukraine. Well, that blows. Food confiscation. I cannot place them in Ukraine, so they go in the USSR. Back in the problem. If Ukraine is in civil war, instead of unrest, add 1 civil war marker. Well, actually, I don't know. This is one that I don't know how to read. Right? What does this mean? Luckily, this will be covered in the rule book, so let's look at it. Let's see how it's played out. Because my first reading is, well, I could place a civil war in the Ukraine instead, but this looks different. And instead of unrest, add one civil war. Well, it sounds like I'm making choices on the unrest, so they would turn into civil war. But the way it's kind of worded leads me to think, hey, maybe I don't place any unrest, I just get a civil war from it. Maybe I just don't know. Again, poorly written cards is a problem. So I'm looking for the Soviet famine. And this is how you learn how the cards work if they're in the first deck. If they're not, you're on your own, you're guessing it. And they may not answer your question always. Because again, they're not well written, just like the rules are problematic. Okay, so here we've got it. The die is a 3, good. They suffer a famine, they can choose what to do here. But wanting to win the civil war in the Ukraine later in the turn, I'm going to add 2 more unrest. Okay, so it's how I first read it. It's not the only way I read it. But, you know, again, and I don't remember the designer. It's on the front page of the book, of the box, if I recall correctly, but it's not here. I'm trying to make a guess whether or not this is, you know, someone who's maybe not an English language, English as a first language speaker. Wow, that sounds so horrible. Not a native English speaker. Native? Plague Island Games, I don't know that. Well, I know the guy who contacted me, his name is Stuart, so that sounds like somebody who most likely is in a rather anglicized. Okay, well, not going to find it out. Not without hunting all over all the components to see. But, you know, that might be an excuse, the way I use it for the AWE games and some others where they're like, yeah, I get it. You don't really have a good enough grasp to understand some of the logical implications of using English the way you're using it. And it doesn't really help me understand the game, though. But yeah, in this case, yeah, it's easy to write sloppy rules. That's what it comes down to. Popular unrest, or it's much easier. 5. Both sides may place one unrest in any country. First the Soviets, and yeah, you certainly want to do this. First thing we do is we look around. Is there anywhere I can coup by doing this? And the answer is no. And then the next question for the Soviets is, what would I like to hurt? And I think the best place that I can hurt is here in West Germany. And very much similarly, we can get ourselves a coup in China, which is not a bad idea, but we can get one here in Germany. This is a blue card. Blue could have spied. I'm going to hold off on that decision, and this card gets removed. We look for the coup table, and look in the rules, because at best this is a complete match of the rules. Yeah, I know there's a coup. Yeah, why don't we see? I know the coup is handled in here. There's no influence present. There is influence present. So we skip. Again, I'm not sure that's what's meant, but otherwise, roll 2d6 and based on the highest die roll. Because by putting the unless it is an occupied country up with the if there is no influence present, you create something that actually makes other parts of this work. Okay, so we roll some dice. Now, I thought there were modifiers to this, but apparently not. We got a 6. Some of these have limitations as to how bad the coup can get, but this is a successful coup. Remove any opposing influence, or if not present, place a friendly influence. Well, there is certainly only one. Now we go to the next. The highest I roll was a 6. Repeat this step. Now, it has NATO influence. Now, this was not in a civil war, so the Russians lose that factory. Got to catch it as quickly as you can, because otherwise you forget as you're following these little recipes. Replace the current government with the coup winner's government unless it's an occupied country. It's an occupied country. If it's occupied, the government is not altered. Yeah, this is, yeah. Okay. I was misreading the way I would have misread that. To make it work. Set the country to 1 unrest, including unoccupied unrest, if present. This is a big swing for the U.S. It doesn't give them a victory point, and it's precisely why the Russians didn't particularly want to do the investment there, because, well, I don't really mind creating more unrest with those. And this card goes away. Military export. This is a money card. It's a special kind. It allows me to buy trade, but I don't got no trades to buy. Which means we would like to remove something here, something there, but there's a problem. We have to take we have to take 2 from Russia. I could put spies in. I'm not going to. I use my military money to do this. I would have liked to have reduced the chance of an insurrection in those 2 countries, but yeah, not going to happen. Indonesian independence. The Dutch agree to vacate Indonesia. Remove the civil war if present. And place 1 U.S. investment in Indonesia. No effect of communist. Yeah, you kind of wish it would say, if not communist, or something like that right off the bat. Just because I would start acting. That was a blue card. Okay. See, I have 2 spies. If I get a 3rd one, I'm going to need to start drawing soon. The Red Army. No effect. The Navy arms race. If the U.S. has the naval advantage, they do. Place an investment in any 0 or 1 worth country. Then the USA is going to get a tech cube potentially on the naval track, and so is the Soviets, and the U.S. may get some additional tech. Okay. Any 0 or 1 worth country. Did we lose something recently? We certainly don't want to throw too much investment into Russia. Well, into Germany, but you see, we could actually change the German government at this point. Not on this card, but at this point, if we can find that place. So what we'd be doing is placing an influence. We've got to place an influence. How do you convert the government? Is that what happens here? Yeah. So I would need to roll a 6 or more. A roll of 1 or 2 always fails. Does that mean a natural roll? I'm assuming so, but, you know. Otherwise, since you only succeed on a 6, no. So I have no investments. I would not be placing into my own color. But if I put an investment there, I'd then be at +1, 5 or 6. I could do the or. If friendly influence is present, replace the government type with your own and place 1 unrest. that would start... No, we'd have to be fully aligned to switch governments. Okay. That would start causing problems. And who's occupying it isn't actually obvious, right? I mean, I can't imagine the Soviet army pulling out of East Germany under these conditions. But I also can't imagine them allowing a communist country that they're occupying to actually be that closely aligned. This is kind of... I mean, Poland is kind of the closest that comes to that, but man, it didn't happen. I can't think of an example. But occupied is not specifying one or the other. So, I mean, you could come up with a scenario in your head to explain all this, that, oh yeah, the U.S. Army moved in, you know, they were invited in by the government after the Russians were ordered out. Yeah, I don't buy that either. I don't buy that kind of swing. Okay, so I don't want to invest there. I'm allowed to go there. It's a 0 or a 1. Where would I want to invest? You know what? I'm not thrilled with France, with Belgium, I mean, having so much unrest. And as a part of investment, whenever an investment is placed, you can do this. Or I could do the other thing, whatever that is, rolling to improve the trade value. Okay. Military arms race. Now we go to the... So the U.S. gets a die roll of 3 or 5. They get a bonus on this one. They get a 3, so they get a naval tech cube. And then the Soviets get a naval tech cube on a 4. And they do not. A naval tech cube does not get us anything in this card. Continues. Authoritarian unrest. 4. Both sides must place one unrest, in an authoritarian country. A coup result of 4 or more will be treated as a 4 from the coups that are generated by this card. Soviets have to go first. I'm sorry, an unrest. In an authoritarian country. Oh... I mean, there aren't that many of them that are of terrible interest, but Egypt is interesting. There's even an investment in Egypt, which, you know, that reduces my chances. What about for the U.S.? Where would we want one? We'll throw... See, the danger of Afghanistan is that makes it more possible to intervene, but I think unrest is safer up there than elsewhere. Okay. So now we go to the coup side of things, because we have a government that is potentially coup. What happened? Yeah, here. That has 2 levels of unrest in it, and that's all an authoritarian needs. So we'll be rolling 2 dice. And are there any modifiers? If there's no influence present, remove any government counter. There's an investment, that's it. And set the country to 1 unrest. Roll 1 die in place. I'm not sure I want to do that. If there's no influence present, yeah, I screwed up. I don't want to go there. That's only an investment. I want to go someplace where there's influence. I'm going to go for Sudan. Okay. So there's influence present. So I roll 2 dice. I get a 4, which is as high as it can go. Strongman takes power or popular insult. Remove an opposing influence if not present. Place in friendly influence. That doesn't cause a change in points because this government type is not the one aligned. Replace the government with an authoritarian government unless it's an occupied country. It is an occupied country. If it's occupied, the government is not altered. Set the country to 1 unrest, including occupied unrest if present. This card goes back. The other chit did not cause a potential coup situation. It just built 1 unrest in Afghanistan. Nazi spies. Place one Soviet spy in Eastern Germany or any country adjacent. Any country adjacent, huh? Western Germany is adjacent. And that's advantageous because I can use that spy for tech checks. And there's actually a tech theft nearby that I have available to me. This goes away immediately. Do I want to go? So I could have gone into, well, East Germany doesn't terribly help me, but I could have gone into someplace like Estonia to get rid of the unrest there. And that might not have been a bad idea, but I want that tech check, and I am going to spy to theft that tech. And we go to the spy chart, and now I have to remember how things work. I only get one die. This is a steel technology. There's no unrest in the target country, blah. Yeah, did not get it. Terrible. Oh, yeah, I was allowed to play that. That was a red card. And I want to do that quickly because there's a possibility that tech theft could go away. U.S. money. There was something else I wanted to... Oh, yeah. Every time I see the spy thing, I have to remember what the ordering is. So these tech theft markers come from this table and generate one on the board. The one on the board ends up generating 2 cubes up here if thefted. It's hard to remember that many levels of indirection in something. Okay. At least for me. USA money. We're getting kind of low in the deck. I may want to do something with my spies. But I can't suppress unrest. So what kind of stuff do I want to do with my money? My monies. There's a big civil war in Greece. I kind of just don't want to get involved in it. Is that wrong? Do I have cubes everywhere that I, kind of want them? Why don't we drop... Do we have a use for 3 influence? So we can't put influence into these countries cheap. But I do have places that I could put influence cheaply. 1, 2. There's a value to it. What's the third one? Not a trivial decision. Lots of oil there. I don't know what it does, and it's not available yet. But yeah, spies. I'm thinking about my spies. What can I do with my spies? I can shoot a Russian spy. That sounds like a good idea. Let's do that. Counterintelligence, 2 dice, 6 or more. I'm good. I don't get. I just want to make sure that I get my actions. And I got another spy over there. I could fire him off. Phew. He doesn't have anything too exciting he could do. I could try to place unrest in North Korea, but I'm going to hold off on that one. Atomic Energy Act. Soviet spy in the U.S.? In the UK? No. Which means I need a 4 or more for, I think, the bad result. I do not get that, so I get the otherwise. U.S. provides Manhattan Project technologies to the UK. Place 1 tech theft in the UK. That's easy. and nuclear tech marker in the UK. Okay. There are problems with this. This is the shit that I'm supposed to place. I think it comes with this, but it says +2 nukes. So I'm not actually sure. Here's 2 UK nukes. I think these happen here. All right, the tech theft goes in here. This goes in the UK, and do these go with it? Because they could remove it, which is why it's important. Let me look at the Atomic Energy Act, because it's a turn 1 card, and see how that actually works. Because I don't think there's an answer in the rules. And again, this is how you play the first turn. Every other turn, you're going to have to make up rules. And I did find that in the second turn, I was faced with that same issue. All right, we didn't find it. Oh, there it is. Roll is a 5. 1 U.S. influence is removed in the UK, and the card is removed from the game. Well, that sucks. If the USA had lost 2 factories... Oh, no. All right, so it doesn't cover the result that I got, so we don't know. And now... we go here, deployment of nuclear countries. When a country develops its own nuclear weapons, place a nuclear weapons marker with the appropriate flag. Well, this has +2 UK nuke. Additionally, either player may choose to deploy one of their available nuclear weapons in a friendly country. To deploy them, the country must have a friendly government. Instead of placing an investment marker, place one available nuclear. Multiple cannot. Did this change the nuclear balance in any way? I don't think so. I think the only thing that changes nuclear balance is the type of weapon there. Is there a way to remove these nukes? I'm not sure, and I'm not sure why there's 2 of them. Maybe. So we'll leave those 2 there because I think that's how they're supposed to be handled. Deck is getting a little low, but I'll keep drawing before I fire off that last spy. Reparations. Okay. This is a money card. The Russians have cleared up their problem here. That means I could drop 3 investments to do stuff. And I actually could drop them in the same countries. So I'm going to drop an investment in North Korea. I'm going to drop an investment up here in Estonia and clear this unrest. And the third investment, I don't really want to go for East Germany yet. Where was my other one going to go? There was somewhere I wanted to put it. Oh yeah. I don't know. That doesn't really make sense. There was some place that's damaged. We'll put another one into Estonia. Okay. Now, I'm going to trigger the Estonia one to try to make it a richer nation. So we look for investment. May roll to remove 1 trader investment destruction marker, 2 dice, +1 for my own investor with no modifiers. I don't get anything. I don't lose anything either. I'll have to put another investment to get another shot at doing that though. And I can do it over here. Now the +1 is canceled out by North Korea's -1, but I still succeed on a 6, which I do not get. This card is removed from the game. There's exactly enough of them to cover everything in the game, so I can put them as discards and not see them again. Some of the cards might filter back in under certain conditions. Did the Russians want to do anything with their spies? I could have done it again at the beginning of the turn, but I didn't, or just as the card was drawn before I enact it. More Soviet monies. What am I doing? Well, I liked what happened last time. So I'm putting 3 investments in. 1 into North Korea. 1 into Estonia. Where's the third one go, though? Now it gets tougher. Can't put it in Russia. La 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 la. Don't even think I'm allowed to put it in the Civil War country. I want to try to convert Yugoslavia back over. Yeah, why not? Let's put it in China. China's a 0. I'm going to get rid of that because I don't like that unrest there, especially since I don't have a Chinese army anymore. All right, and now we make our rolls. North Korea is now at +1 with that additional investment in it. And we win. It takes all our investments away, but it gives us a progress marker. You know, it's more expensive after you fail, but kind of not. And it gets more likely. Likewise with Estonia, now I'm at +2 in Estonia, and I still do not get it. Harsh. Wow, somehow the occupation left North Korea. I'm never sure how these things happen, you know? Like, did I screw up? Research. Both players are going to get to do 1 research action because this is the first turn of the game. Okay. So the Russian research action, they need agriculture. 1 cube equals a disk. Gives me Soviet agriculture. I know this might. That fulfills my 5-year plan, which moves my thing forward. I'm putting a black cube on it just to remind me I could just take the disk off or something. Whatever. This is one of the few uses I have for a black cube, though, so. For the U.S. What do the U.S. want? Now, this is what's tricky. First of all, I could grab a level, well, yeah. No, there's nothing I can grab. I could grab a level in nuclear subs, which gives me some naval balance bonus. It solidifies my position in there, but it also throws a tech theft in there. I think it's worth doing, but that means we create some tech theft. And that requires atom bomb. I have the atom bomb. +1 naval balance. That's not the naval balance. Now we get a +1 intel assessment, and I get a reroll, which I can use, I think, on any of my own stuff. I don't really remember. Oh, shit! Oh, boy. So I got to do some influence. I think I tried some and probably failed or something. Okay. Intel assessments. What's up here? Any 1 die roll, except for die rolls made during the end of turn phase. This includes opponent die rolls. So it's different from this, which actually specifies something else. And what the hell is this? Double 1, 2, or 3. President assassinated. Oh! Okay, yeah, you go on these, and that's not good. Okay. Yeah. The U.S. is going to need to remember to do something. An influence. Reparations. More Soviet money. I mean, we're working really, really hard on Estonia here, man. Oh, boy. I don't have a whole lot of choices. What did I do with my third influence? I had that third Russian influence. Did North Korea, Estonia, and I don't know, maybe China. What's under the China? I see some twos down here, but they're far and expensive. Having a hard time. Yeah, I think I'm going to do the 3 influence again. Why? That's a good question. Okay. Oh, geez, I keep getting the wrong size chip. One of them is going to go into Sweden and Finland. I can't use that to place influence yet. I'm sorry, these are investments. The second one is going to go into Estonia. And now the big question is, where does the third one go? I'll put it here in China. Okay. So, we can't do anything with Sweden and Finland, but I'm trying to solidify my hold on my hammer and sickles. Estonia, I'm at +3 now. At some point this should succeed, right? 6, that's good enough. It clears all the influence and the Estonian marker. And I get 1 point. Now, instead I could remove an occupied marker and place an investment. That could have gotten rid of occupation somewhere. I believe that's dangerous, though. Yeah, Soviets get reform cubes, which I don't know if I want to do that. The danger is that you get forced into too ugly a reform. Where did my second one go? My second one went in Sweden, Finland. So now over on China, I am at 0. And I fail to improve the Chinese at all. Reparations card, it's gone from the game. We're almost there. We're almost there. Soviet money. Oh, the U.S. still has a spy, too. Oh, if this isn't a blue card, we fucked up in a number of ways. Soviet money again. Well, I need to think. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place an investment and an influence. I believe that's all you're allowed to do things. Well, if I'm doing a 0-point investment, why don't I want to do more of them? I don't know. I'm going to do an investment and an influence here. Oh, I could drop a spy. Wait a minute. If I drop a spy in Belgium, there's a couple of tech markers there. That's interesting. Place 1 spy in any country in the map. Okay, what happens? Place a spy and either make an influence or place 1 investment. Tell you what. I'm going to get rid of one of these because they're hard to get rid of. They're normal investments. I'm going to put a spy. Oh, sorry, the UK, not Belgium. And I'm going to try to spy on the UK because of all those tech markers. And it's a red card, so I can do this. 2 dice. There is no unrest. I get nothing. But it was an interesting choice. Okay. Last card. Is it blue? No, it's another reparations. This keeps getting uglier and uglier in terms of, hey, what do I want to do? I'm going to do the 3 investment chits because I want to put another investment in Sweden before I roll. I want to put an investment in Germany, and we'll keep working China over. Now we're at +1 on China. That's successful. Clears all our investments. Gets us a victory point, which turns into a real victory point. And that is the end of the deck. The U.S. fucked up. They did not get to use their containment policy. They did not get to use one of their spies. Terrible. Now, we go to, and this may all be, in fact, I think it is. There we go. It's all here. All right, move the turn marker to the next turn. Do I have to do all these things? You know, I will not be doing these on camera on any further turns. This is definitely part where it's just a bookkeeping type. Even up and see that one player's won the game. Well, nobody can win the game by sudden death, but the Russians are at 4, which means if they take 2 away and the U.S. takes 2 away, we've somehow met what they ask us to do, which is leave everybody with 1 or something. I don't know. I feel like I should get rid of 1 more, but Soviet role for the 5-year plan. What am I forced to do this time? 2. This time it's going to be industry. Industry is a nice one. I can't put 2 cubes for a theft on it, but what's nice about it is that mainframe computers starts giving you half a cube or something. I think this is where it goes. I don't know what the fuck this is like so fucked up. It doesn't explain what it's supposed to be, and I don't know. Okay. We may have to read it to make sure I understand it, because roll for a new trade item. 2. And there's a -1 because of Stalin, so nothing. Roll for a new tech theft. Okay. Well, here's a problem. Tech theft is not on these charts, so we have to page through here. But it's nice because at least I'm not trying to hold a page and page through all the sequence of play stuff to get to this chart. Canada, UK, or Germany, Russia's choice. We will put it in Germany. Roll for leadership change. No. There's a no leader roll this turn, which I think goes away. Oh, but we wouldn't be rolling anyway because it's still turn rule. Well, I don't know. Move the turn marker to the next turn. We're on this turn already by the time this is being played. It's not really the end of turn sequence. It's the beginning of turn sequence. So I think you would be rolling for the leader death on this turn. I don't know. By the order, Soviet add reform cubes to the freedom and reform tracks according to the current leader. +1 if winning the game. I am. Here, I can use black cubes for this. +1 for winning the game, and +1 per democratic and blue aligned nation with a hammer and sickle. Well, they haven't hammered and sickled at me at all. So all I get is 1 plus anything that's on the track. What's on the track? Well, Stalin does not help freedom and reforms. These are how many you need to move forward. So I think we get 1. This was the reform track. We get 1 more, we'll move forward. That's pretty impressive. Stalin should be a -1. Check to see if a reform takes place. It doesn't. So I cannot use spies to prevent it, I think. Not positive about that. Remove 1 embargo from the Western trade box. No, I didn't do any aggressions. U.S. role for president. Okay, we look at 4.0 because, again, I don't believe it's listed here. I've got the chart here, and that actually maybe tells me more because I don't remember these things being covered in the rules. But part of me wants to look up and see. Nope. The rules don't tell you anything about what happens in case of doubles. It is only present on the table. which I find a particularly bad thing. It's bad enough when there are rules that aren't represented on the charts, but when there are charts that have information just kind of tucked away in them like that you don't even know you're supposed to look for, that's a problem. Okay, I got a 1 and a 2. Do I have any modifiers? The US is losing, so that's +1. So it's a 2 and a 3, which means I'm going to be getting 2 economy. That doesn't do much. I will be able to increase the debt spacing, and I do that as an action, I think, although note that a die can be rerolled. Yeah, that's the die roll. Somewhere it tells you when you can trigger it. Once in the gaming turn during the US player's activity. But one of them says you can do it at any time or something like that, right? I don't know. I seem to remember that, but I don't know. Let's hope I remember to use my capabilities this time. It'll be a lot easier. Like, I know I tried to put an influence or something probably at one point or another, but that's not an action that is easy to do. So I probably didn't lose much. Add 1 money to the debt track. That moves to here. We didn't get rid of the victory point yet. Nothing else takes place. Flip all spies to unused. That's pretty easy. Just a mechanical task. Now there's a limited value to this nuke. One of them there means I get the mad die roll or something. Like, it makes it harder to invade England, right? I don't know to what extent. That didn't get used. I think we're set. I kind of feel like I need to check the nuclear balance table to make sure that those nukes did not affect something. But we'll do that a little later. Add 1 in unrest for each nuclear weapon within 2 of your homeland if you don't have SLBMs. Boop, boop. Uh-oh. Okay, well that's why there's an importance that there's 2 of them there. Russia's shitting themselves. Not good. Remove discs on code breaking. There are none. Check intelligence assessment and give rerolls if one side is disadvantaged. We still have the +1 that we got, right? I thought that was... Yeah, it's off the naval balance. We're still there, so we stay there. And I think we get another chit. Now these are limited as to what you can reroll, right? No, you can reroll anything. So like if my president was assassinated, I could have used intel to prevent it or something. I'm okay with everything. There's nothing I wanted to interfere with recently. Apply a tech cube for mainframe computer. We didn't manage to get it. I'm kind of pissed about that because that's one of my massive goals. What the fuck am I doing up here with nukes? That's the atomic bomb box. I guess that's where I start. Okay. Okay. Now, this pile of cards, minus this one because it says remove, and the turn 2 cards will be shuffled together. Soviet oil is supposed to be dealt with at some point here, I thought. They don't have any, but somewhere it should say something. Oh, the Soviet player may add oil sale cards roll if necessary to the deck. But I have no oil production, and we figured out what this means. If the oil price is higher, each Soviet oil card generated by oil production gets additional cards. That's not explained in the rules at all. That's something you got to figure out on your own. That's the fun of this game. Yeah. All right. So I shuffle those, and I start another turn, and I'm not going to go check to see if there's anything additional in effect for putting nukes here. I don't think it changes the strategic nuclear balance. I think the only thing that does is delivery systems. Prove me wrong. Up it goes.